And
No.
ironically, I think that decision that you made, Hawk, is actually the most gruesome. You actually you get to see the knife go in.
Yeah.
If you look away, you just gotta
Yeah.
let's see.
And I'll get to mine on that part. But
Okay.
I guess it was. You want to go
I just
first?
want to
Kat?
hear everyone. No, I want to hear. I'm just saying, I want to hear everyone.
Well,
Whatever.
then let me say the poll before I say my decision.
Okay.
The poll of the decision: survivalism shot Kenny, and I still question the logic of humanity. 70% of people shot Kenny, and 30% looked away, didn't pick up the gun or watch.
That's not surprising.
Uh,
I think.
I thought it was less. I thought it was minority.
I don't find humanity logical these days. Now, I'm just saying.
I thought most people let Jane get killed, but I guess I was wrong.
No, people apparently, people want to kill Kenny and they don't love him, and that's why I made that comment. You killed Kenny, you loved him, you betrayed us.
I think part of that is just the gamer mentality that you need to be active on something. You can't be inactive. So I think people feel like doesn't feel right as a video game, to not shoot something when it's prompted to you instead versus being inactive.
I don't think it's that simple.
I think it's little kids they're just tempted to pull the trigger.
I don't think it's that
Kenny
simple.
Powell.
I don't know.
I'm agree with Kathleen because now we're at season 2, the last episode. I think people are more invested in this than just I'm gonna pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's
I would
true.
hope so anyway.
That's true. I mean, it's
maybe
another reason
get
why
that.
a lot of people tend to not choose silence, because they don't really think of, they want to say something. I think Logan actually said that. Is that
What?
I'm not sure if you said that or somebody else said that it feels, maybe in an earlier podcast, it doesn't feel right to choose silence, because as gamers you want to be active on something and actually say something instead of just not saying anything.
I guess that was me. Like, I guess because it feels like, and I guess for me it was that mentality of I want to at least do something.
Right, you want to do something.
Which I've learned in this episode. Sometimes doing something, sometimes making the choice to do nothing is doing something still.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, but are we still talking? So
Yeah,
We're still talking about your
so-
decision. Yeah.
I was saying, like,
But,
so who has discussed their final decisions on that?
I guess
poll?
I'll do mine first. And Hark, I'm pretty sure like you and a couple of fans were a little ticked off with this. I pushed the pause button and just like, oh wait, I want to think about this right here.
I was kind of disappointed that you did that, but I wasn't gonna rag on you about it. If that's
But I
what-
broke it down on a list. I was like, wait a minute. Jane knew.
Oh,
that-
so you listed out the pros and cons of
He
taking
paused. He paused because he didn't want to make a choice
That's
on the
fine.
spot.
They have
But
a
I
time-
actually played it out. I was like letting the clock tick. I was like, do I want to shoot again? I can't do it. I honestly could not shoot Kenny. I was ready to actually click the button, shoot Kenny. It was like, no, I can't do it. I couldn't shoot. Like, personally, I think like that was the little kid speaking to me. Like, when you see two of your best friends about to kill each other,
Yeah.
literally, you want to shoot, but like your gut tells you shoot, but then that little kid just says don't do it, and you're like, oh,
I
I
don't know
can't
what
do
childhood
it.
you
Have
had
you
when you
shot
seen-
someone as a little kid?
I was saying, you have still childhood, you have friends.
Literally,
Well,
baby
This
gun.
reminds me of a time when I was 7 and my friends and I had a Colt in my hand. I don't know. But that was, for me, that was a choice that I let the timer, I didn't pause it, but I let the timer go like the entire way down. I think what ultimately confirmed my decision was I saw this as nothing but, first of all, I saw that Kenny was going to win. Clearly, he was going to win the fight. And most times when he's been in a fight, he's most likely been the one winning, except for Carver. That was because, Carver had definitely outgunned him. As far as like he had more power in that situation.
Yeah, we get it.
But in an even fight, yeah. I saw this as this was going to be a vicious cycle. This was never going to end. The thing that Dave mentioned of him having this anger period, then a calm period, but then just something riles him up again to another anger period. This was just going to go on over and over, and really it felt like a tortured way to live.
Yeah.
To try and to live like that, and to put other, because I realized that Kenny was and the thing that he said afterwards was also what got me choked up about it. As you
made the right decision or something like that.
Yeah,
you made the right choice.
Oh, you shot him!
I shot him.
Terrible! You're terrible!
Don't even start that. Shut up and sit over there on your side of the podcast and let me finish my freaking emotional breakdown of this.
Yeah, go ahead. Let Logan finish.
You got to pause it and get this all worked out before you even shot. I had to try and figure this out afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, go ahead, Logan.
Also, for I'm not really like mad at him. No, I'm just.
I'm mad at him. Go ahead, Logan.
But
I'm mad.
Because I realized I was the only person most likely that could be the person who can make that choice. I didn't want.
Yeah.
I didn't want him to. Oh god, this is so hard trying to reason about this. It was. I think the thoughts going through my head was I don't want him to suffer. He's hurting himself more than anyone else. I don't want anyone else to die or be killed or be hurt. And unfortunately, I think as long as this time bomb is present,
it was a mercy kill.
I think so, but I think it wasn't. And then again, this is just where people could debate about it. It was a mercy kill not even for him, but just a mercy kill for anyone else that he would have met in his life afterwards.
Okay.
That could have sent him off. And I realize now, by the tone, that I'm just making a big deal about this for nothing. But
no, not at all.
Well, when I still get back to my argument, like I did lay out the pro and cons. I think I did it for like 1 minute. I was like, okay, I'll make my decision right here. Either way, like most of the fans understood why I did that. Like the pause moment right there, they understood and they're like, it's your call, but I understand. Like they actually make sense. Your pros and cons, and like what you're laying out here. But in reality, even if I was just given like that timer clicking down still, I would have still not been able to shoot Kenny because that little kid, I think we all have it in him. Is like you want to do it, but your gut you're telling yourself you can't do it. Like you just look. I had to look away. I couldn't do it personally.
Did you have Clementine shoot Lee?
Yes, I did because I didn't want him to turn. Personally, I didn't want him to. But Kenny wasn't gonna turn because like one of them wasn't gonna turn from the scenario they were in. They weren't bit, so I was like, okay, I can't do it. I don't want to look, and then I personally did look away myself because I didn't want to see it myself, and it was just a really tough thing to do. I couldn't shoot him because, like what David was saying, he was my last connection to Lee, and I did say. I don't know what you guys said when you guys were in the attic in season 1. I said I wanted Kenny to look out for Clementine, so I still feel like that Lee influence is playing over me.
I think that I just realized. Another thing I was gonna say was
bad.
I didn't want him to end up like Carver.
Yeah, because he definitely was going that path.
It was that whole thing of, again, you live long enough, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become
the villain.
That's the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I know, I keep tossing around that quote around, but sometimes I just find
Batman!
Yes.
Don't worry about me.
Nice, perfect.
Batman.
But yeah, I just felt like that there, and I just felt like yeah. So I'll save anything else for when we talk about the endings we get for afterwards. Dave, your turn.
David.
All right, guess I'm up. I think that somewhere along the way, I realized that I liked Jane more than Kenny.
Somewhere along the way.
Yeah. I wonder where
you don't say.
It's not just shallow things, I promise. Right. It's just that I respect her as a person, what she's trying to do, what she's done for me, what she's sacrificed herself to do for me, to help Clementine. Mm-hmm. And while I still, care for Kenny, somewhere along the way he lost himself, and he's not the Kenny I cared about.
Yeah.
Back
not the Kenny you cared about.
Was alive. No,
that other Kenny died a long time ago for you.
Yeah, he's in a very dark place. He's irrational. He's reckless. He's got lots of emotion. Mm-hmm. He's impulsive. He's a dangerous person that I still do care about because we have a lot of history.
Right.
But he is a dangerous person. Like Jane is proving that point as this is happening.
Yeah.
And it was I knew that I had to shoot him from the point I saw the gun. I mean, I had no hesitation. it was horrible,
Mhm.
and they both kind of forced it on me.
Yeah.
But I felt that this is it, and just this. I'm more. I'm safer in Jane's care than I am in Kenny's care, and that's what Lee would have wanted for me.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And yeah, this impulsiveness is just you guys know about. I don't know, Kathleen know about the tragic flaw, the fatal flaw in a character.
Yeah. Yeah.
That it's a personality trait that leads to a person's downfall, and this recklessness has been
His fatal
this
flaw.
reckless
that fatal flaw,
impulsiveness has been Kenny's tragic flaw throughout this whole season.
All right,
Yeah.
Kathleen, you're last.
Man, I feel like it's hard to follow David because you said so many things I wanted to say. But let me just start off by saying that.
Well, you had the correct answer too.
Yeah.
That's all. You just had the correct answer as well.
Yeah. But David, I like what you said about what is safest for Clementine.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so leading up to this, I did have a detail spoiled for me, it was kind of hard for me not to have anything spoiled for me because
Okay.
I announced I was going to do a Twitch stream. I had 90 people watching.
Yeah.
Like
There were people in the chat that were.
and I tried to avoid looking at chat, but it was hard.
Yeah.
So I did know the only detail I knew, which is really good, that Kenny could possibly die,
Okay.
and that there would be a choice.
Okay.
And so that's not a big detail, that's just like a
their
little-
choices and dying.
And so I thought, when I heard that, I was like, I'm gonna try my best to make sure that Kenny survives, believe it or not.
Okay.
Okay, listen. So when the episode started, I was like, I want to make sure Kenny survives. But as it went along,
Mhm.
I just felt like, oh my gosh, like Kenny is beyond saving. I really thought that, and not only that, he's dangerous for Clementine.
Mhm.
I also felt that up to the situation, I did care about him and care about him as a character.
Yeah.
But and that, of course Jane was being a little bit manipulative. But also, like, I think that Kenny, his aggression, his putting himself in dangerous situations is almost like a self-detrimental behavior, like him trying to get himself killed because at the end of the day, he just wants to be back with his family.
Mhm.
And so when I had that decision finally presented to me, I was amazed that I actually decided that I had to kill Kenny because in my view, he was gonna murder Jane, and
Yeah.
I was protecting Jane.
Yeah.
Because even though she lied, she didn't attack him. So I thought, okay, like I had to prevent a murder happening, and I decided, okay, if one person is gonna survive from this conflict, it should be Jane because she won't blow up. She won't put Clementine in dangerous situations like Kenny will, and I just think it's the best choice. And I hate that I had to make that choice, and it wasn't for shallow reasons. It wasn't just because I liked Jane more.
Yeah.
It was because I thought it was the safest thing to do for Clementine, and it sucked that I had to do that. But also, like, it's interesting. I know some people told me that the ending with Kenny's better, but I actually like the ending
With Jane.
where with Jane, because when you shoot Kenny, he does say, like, you made the right choice, and I'm so sorry that I put that on you. He says, I'm so sorry I put that on you.
Yeah.
It was wrong of me. And he finally sees his flaw. And then, I kind of get this sense of relief. Like,
That he finally-
he actually, I think that he puts himself in these situations so that he will get killed because he just wants to join his family again. And I
Yeah.
feel like that's just how he felt. He was like, you know what? I can't live in this world anymore.
He said he wanted
And
it.
I'm just relieved.
He said,
Yeah,
I always
he
wanted
wanted it.
this. Mhm.
You said
Yeah.
you said that he would see Katja and Duck soon, right?
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
So for you, Kathleen, it was more self-defense. It was self-defense.
Yeah, it was self-defense, but I still think, that was the best thing
Yeah.
for everyone.
And
And I felt like he died peacefully.
Yeah.
It's
It's
tragic.
it's a very sad scene.
Yeah.
Either way, even if I shot him, I mean, I still my voice still cracked. You know, it was.
I mean, I'm the only one who chose him.
It
Chose
was-
Kenny.
No, the heart.
I did too. Well,
Heart
chose.
but
I chose.
Heart chose to just remain neutral.
Well, me and Hark were buddies. You see, that's why. Because
Well, then-
we look out for each other, and we always have to look out for Kenny. You know,
There you
it's
go.
just our thing.
I'm saying hearing everybody, I don't think any of us made any choice we made for shallow reasons.
No.
Yeah.
I
No.
think we all put a lot of thought into that decision, and
Yeah.
except for Dave, I think there was no right answer.
I think that just is a testament.
Oh, you had to give him a little.
Wait. Go let Kathleen speak.
So,
I
Kathleen, yes.
think this is a testament to how good this series is. Is like you're so invested, you feel like you're literally making a life or death
Yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
And like that's really powerful for a game to create that kind of tension that like you're like, I have to make a decision. And it's not just like, oh, I have to press a button and whatever.
No, that's like
If
the
you were-
mission of the game designer.
Yeah, if this game was like weaker, then we would have been like, oh, I'm gonna pick Jane because she's hot, you know? Like
Yeah.
no.
David.
Because I
No,
Kathleen.
whoa.
Really? You think I'm
I-
not shallow? Come on,
Because
you know me better than that.
I think I remember like a friend, because I think I already mentioned that again, but I know a friend of mine, Tyler, he told me, I forget the quote, but it was the job of a game designer is, or something like that, is to create a world that ceases to be fiction or fake in the eyes of the player.
Yeah.
Yes.
To create a scenario that we can relate or we can place ourselves into and lose ourselves in their world.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, who here did not shoot Lee at the end of season 1? Was I the only one who didn't shoot him?
I didn't shoot him, I don't
You
think.
did not shoot him?
Wait,
I-
did I?
I know for a fact I shot him.
I shot him for sure.
But you
I
did
shot him.
shoot.
Yes, I did. I did shoot him.
You
I
did
So
shoot.
you were the only,
Okay, so only
So-
Hark.
So my Clementine, let me just get the record straight. My Clementine is the Clementine that has not
shot
killed
anyone.
a living person yet. She has
Nope.
not killed a living person at all.
Okay, go ahead, rub it in.
I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying
That's interesting.
I'm just
Go
saying.
ahead,
Killing
let
people-
I
me
think I'm a
love
very
her.
unique, rare. I think my Clementine's very rare because I think most people would have either A shot Lee or B shot Kenny, if not both, and I managed to have her not shoot either of them.
And I guess she didn't shoot the stranger either, then?
Oh, you have a point. Yes, she did. No, you're right. She did. She did
Sorry,
because
sorry.
nope.
No,
Nope,
he
Clementine
ruined it.
shot. Oh, I ruined it.
I ruined purity.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Still
no,
make
you're
time
right. You're right. She did. Good catch, David. I didn't even think about that. She did shoot the
Ouch.
stranger. So yeah, my Clementine is tainted like the rest of y'all.
Yay. Yeah,
I do have a question for you all. What
Okay.
if the roles were reversed? So
there's Jane on
it
top of
was Jane on top trying to push the knife into Kenny, and there's an option like shoot Jane or look away. Would you still have chosen the option you did?
Well, I would have still stayed out of it. So
I
Jane
probably
would have
would have
ended
shot
up.
Jane. Sorry.
You think you would have?
I
shot
would
Jane?
have. This is going off the assumption that when I chose to shoot Kenny, I did not think I was shooting to kill. At the part at first, then I don't know. I just,
Go ahead, take your time.
I'm saying I think I just made myself sound hypocritical. I was thinking I didn't want him to live to be like Carver, but it was like every time I shot, I always thought that that Clem was just gonna shoot him in the arm, not actually shoot him and end up like him sitting down like about to die. That's still coming by surprise. Like, oh crap, he's actually gonna die now.
Mhm.
But I think I would shoot Jane to get her like just to keep the fight from them hurting each other, even if it had to be like shooting her in the arm or something to get her. I don't throw
Shoot
a rock,
Jane
throw
or
a rock
look away.
maybe at her.
Yeah. That's a good
Okay, I guess
question.
for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it would have been very close. I mean, it would be. I wouldn't pause my video this time for sure. Okay, Hark. But I think the little kid still would have spoke in me, and I just wouldn't be able to shoot her. I wouldn't be. I would have looked away, and that would have been very difficult for me because I like Kenny a lot, and I'm dedicating this hat to Kenny still.
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to because it's very hard. Like when you put yourself in this game and you put your actual emotions in the game,
Yeah.
it's hard to like actually pull the trigger and shoot someone. And if you are thinking outside of the game and say, oh yeah, definitely, you know, I'm gonna definitely shoot him. It's not, how's it gonna affect me? I was like, you're not actually putting any love into this game then.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to do it. It would have been very difficult for me.
Yeah, I would have again kept myself out of it, and therefore Jane probably would have ended up killing Kenny, and then I would have ended up with Jane.
Yeah, because one of my subscribers asked me this question. I was like,
Awesome.
whoa, I had to
You have to
walk
think
away from
about
the
it.
computer for a
That
moment
is a
and think
good
about it.
question.
Because my knee-jerk reaction would be to save someone, you know,
Yeah.
in danger.
Yeah.
But that would make me very hypocritical because I just told you my reasons why
Mhm.
I wanted Jane to live.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy who posted that comment?
No, afraid not.
Are
Sorry,
we all gonna start
you're
coming
awesome,
for-
by the way.
We're sort of
Yeah.
going after
Put your
him now.
name in the bottom.
No, because I was
Yeah.
just gonna be like, 'cause I was gonna say like kudos. I was gonna say kudos to that guy because that was a very
That was a
actually
very
Yeah.
good question. Yes.
But I understand because then you go with your knee-jerk reaction, your emotional reaction
Yeah.
to save someone, or your take a step back reaction and look at the whole picture.
Mhm.
And that's why you shouldn't pause the game, Carson.
Okay.
See, that was the lesson for you.
The correct
Okay, that's
answer
my
has
low
spoken.
blow.
The correct
That
answer
guy
has
has
spoken.
I probably wouldn't shoot because she's gorgeous, you know. So
Oh, that's because we all know you have your secret love for her, and that everybody's
Oh,
gonna
I'm
draw
not
a concept
any
art
secret
of you
about that.
holding her, saying "Hello, my love," like that.
So,
okay,
so now
But-
we discussed the choices we've made.
Yeah, we have. And now,
Do we want to start with the Jane group or the Kenny group first?
I think we should start with the people who have the. I'm trying to think.
The majority.
I don't know whether to start with the majority or the minority actually.
The
Angels, I keep feeling like I'm doing this. Angels, this is your podcast. You make the decision.
yeah, we can start. We can definitely start with the majority. I think.
Which is the Jane group.
Which is Jane group. So how many people ended up? Well, you get to decide whether to forgive Jane or not. But before that happens, how many people shot Kenny again? Who shot Kenny? Okay,
That was
so
us,
the two of
yeah.
you shot Kenny. So
Kathleen shot.
Oh, yeah.
oh, Kathleen shot him too.
We're
So
doing
Sorry,
a
I
hand.
was like, what are
Did-
you asking?
did-
Blinked out.
did any of you guys not forgive Jane? Just out of curiosity. Oh, you all forgave Jane. Okay.
We all
Yeah.
forgave her.
Alright.
No, you already heard my thing was when I was given that choice, I remained quiet.
Oh, you remain
I
silent.
let the timer run out. I didn't say anything.
And the game decided that you would.
It defaulted
with
as I
Jane.
forgave her.
Default,
It defaulted I forgave her.
Okay. Do you guys
So-
go ahead?
I was gonna say, so could you tell us what happens if we don't forgive her first?
Yes. So regardless of, there is a ending that happens if you decide to, if for somehow you end up by yourself. So either you shoot Kenny and you don't forgive Jane, or you let Kenny kill Jane and then you decide for yourself that, I think you can still decide to leave Kenny.
I think you can shoot him.
Oh, you can shoot Kenny, and then you would end up by yourself. That's what it is. You can shoot Kenny
Okay.
even after the fact, after he kills
Okay.
Jane.
That's how much they
So
wanted.
it's I actually really like this ending a lot. It's actually my second favorite ending, where you see a scene where Clementine is outside, and again by herself with AJ. She has the baby with her, and there's this horde of walkers in front of her. So she just sighs, and then she looks over and off to the side, and she sees that there's a injured walker, I think, or a really weak walker that she goes up to, and she just kills it. Then
Gets
she
the
takes
blood.
all the guts, she rubs it all over her face, she rubs it on AJ, and then she just buckles down and she just walks straight for the horde, and then it cuts to black.
That is a cool.
Wow.
I, hope you,
Awesome
I want to see
ending.
that scene. That camera roll must look amazing.
So
It.
yeah, it's I liked it a lot, and a lot of people liked
I know,
it
and
a lot.
I actually asked a couple of my fans if they wanted me to do a what if scenario. Now, Hark, you know what I'm talking about on
Yeah,
this
yeah.
because I mentioned at the end, and I don't know what everybody's opinion here, but I also said that my friend played this before me, which is why the background was different. And this is what he told me. He said, you might want to be careful on all your choices because there's going to be a lot of decisions. And I was like, what does that mean? Oh, you'll find out. That's how he said it.
So I don't think any of us got the alone ending, correct? With just
No.
AJ. Okay.
No.
So we got that covered.
I may do the what if scenario for everybody.
Yeah.
So-
So Jane, you guys end up forgiving her, and then you end up back
Or
in,
just yeah.
or you just don't. Yeah. Somehow you end up with her at the end, and then you end up at
House.
Carvertown again, and then you have one final decision to make with a family that shows up. So what were you guys? What did you guys do, and why?
For the record, I will announce the poll after everybody's decision.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so there's this choice between letting a family into the compound or not, and I chose to let them in.
Although when I was watching your playthrough, David, you were hovering over not letting them in for a while.
Yeah,
like at the
because
last minute.
the wounds are still fresh from the last group we had. So I'm like, but then there's like this kid, and I'm like, oh man, my emotion's gonna kill me. I don't know, but yeah, in the end, I thought it was the right choice to make, and I don't regret it.
So if the kid was actually a baby, you would have turned them away. If the kid was actually a baby.
Well, it's...
There's a baby in that group. All right, get out of here.
No, I actually think that I would let them in either way.
Okay.
Because we still have to care for each other, even after all of this.
Yeah, but again, that's what we thought with Bonnie first time, and
Now, I did see David's Let's Play, and I was shocked that you didn't show any emotion or shock that the dad was actually carrying the gun in his back. I was shocked. I was like, really, dude? You don't care?
Why wouldn't he have a weapon?
Okay.
You'd be stupid not to have a weapon.
No,
If he's
no,
not
okay.
armed, he's stupid.
Yeah,
No,
you should be armed.
The minute he held his hand like this behind his back and
we see.
was like doing that, and like the hand, the minute I saw, I was like, he has a gun.
Yeah,
That's the pose you take.
you should.
And if he tries anything, I'll just shoot him.
Yeah.
So there's that.
You should have a gun.
And-
I don't think there was really anything surprising about that.
And that's
I don't know why-
I'm gonna say that I just enjoyed the big sweet hug that Jane got afterwards, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's been so long since I saw any joy, and well, it was the fireplace scene, but
Yeah.
like this raw emotion of hope, and I'm like, no, I can live with this.
Kathleen, what'd you do?
I let the family in. I was really hesitant, but I saw that they had a kid, and I was just like, oh, okay, gotta let resurrected Lee Everett in.
Oh.
Who knows?
Reincarnated Lee Everett.
Yeah, the incarnate Lee Everett. Nice.
Yeah,
Like
the-
my
I'm not just saying that
kryptonite.
because he's black. He legitimately
Well,
looks like
you
a
remember-
young.
He looks, and he also said that's a cool hat.
Well,
Yeah.
Kathleen, remember us talking about season 3 being a dating sim?
Oh, no.
So you know,
He looks
I don't
younger.
wanna
than
hear this.
Clem.
younger than Clem, you
I think-
think?
I think there's a big. I don't know. It looks like there's a big age gap.
Give him 8
He
years.
looks young.
Give him 8 years. It won't matter.
Wait! Oh, whoa! So like take 10 years, and Clementine would be like 21, and
Yeah.
Jane would be like 30.
like Krista age.
30
Yeah,
something.
well that would work, wouldn't it? Yes.
There's no
Okay.
mention- I,
Wait, what?
Was
Moving
not thinking
on.
about that, but
Where's
okay.
that leading?
I don't
We'll
know
think
where
about
it's
that in the
going.
future. Now
No,
let's go.
What?
What?
God, this just turned very dark.
changing. Okay, switching back on it.
What?
I let them in, and again, I do think it was because of the fact that they had the kid. That was again the big turning factor. I don't think I think if the kid was not there, I would not see that, because I think you need to be at least have some sort of general niceness to be able to have a kid with you, and for that kid to not. It didn't look like the kid was
Unless
nervous
the kid
around
was a
them.
prop.
Yeah, like, that could have also been saying that. I could definitely see them keeping a kid as like a tool, but
As a tool, yeah.
I mean, if that was the situation, I would have expected the kid to at least look really nervous, even being around them.
True. Yeah.
He didn't seem too fearful. Me profiling with genetics, he didn't look like he could have been their kid very
Yeah, I'm
convinced.
actually gonna bring up something up about that. Just
But
give me a minute.
what's it? I just think that you need to have some sort of like natural sense of or a minimum amount of kindness to be able to keep a kid around you like that. And if they were to have a kid with them and the kid was cool with them, I just felt like that was just some sort of natural tell of okay, they have to have some sense of decency.
Yeah.
They weren't a carver.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why the game drew so much attention to, oh, he had a gun the whole time.
Yeah,
Let's
I
look
don't
at each other
understand.
like he had a
The
gun. Like,
music
I used to-
changed, and I don't
Dun,
understand
dun,
that.
dun.
I was like, really? You act like this is the first time we've ever seen a gun.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Did anyone?
And they not. That's it.
Did anyone?
But
Go ahead, Carson.
go ahead. I was gonna mention is that it says that the man and the woman and the boy, well, obviously the boy is African American, but the man and the woman were both Caucasian, so to speak. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, so were they lying about the whole time? Like, he says as a father, and I was like, wait a minute, are you sure that's your kid and that's her kid?
He could have
Wait
been
a minute.
adopted. I mean, look at AJ. I mean, he's.
Yeah, I'll give
look
you
at
that.
AJ. I mean,
Could have been.
Yeah, but I was like, he didn't even get a voice in that. He was like, all right, you're coming with me, let's go.
If not, it could have been just those not recessive genes or something. I don't know.
yeah.
There's always that chance or something.
Are we
But
done with the
anyway.
Jane group?
Did anyone? Well, I was gonna ask. Did anyone notice how Jane's ending? If you let the family in with when you get that's a cool hat, that it goes full circle. That season goes full circle. Because back in episode 1 of season 2, it all started with someone liking Clementine's hat. Did you
Oh,
guys
that's
notice that?
Wait, season 1, episode what?
Season 2, episode 1. When you're in the
Oh, right.
bathroom, there's that girl who liked
Yeah.
her hat. So that's what
yeah, the
I immediately
girl.
thought about that. I immediately thought of episode 1 because
Oh my gosh,
when
I
I
didn't
saw
think
that
that.
because of the hat.
I went all the way back to season 1 when
Yeah.
Lee or someone mentioned that they liked her hat, but I didn't think
Oh,
of
I meant
that
season
soon.
2. I meant season 2.
I know, season 2, I know, but yeah,
So-
I just said thanks.
Yeah.
That is
Okay.
really cool.
So let's go to the Kenny ending.
Oh, and I do have something I do want to bring up. And if they are watching, that's cool. There's two people I wanted to mention. It's Lori Honkanen. She's the one who mentioned about the water and the ice thing. And the other person that will kind of back up my statement is that Wade's worth 107. He said, and I quote, "In the end, I didn't have the guts to shoot and abandon a good friend." That's kind of what I was saying, dude. I couldn't do it. And I hope they get what I mean. And everybody was cool with what I did on the pausing moment, David. Just saying. Just saying.
Not everybody is correct, Carson. Like David
There
is.
can be only one correct answer.
There can
Carson.
only be one right. Yeah. So with Kenny's ending, we end up eventually reaching Wellington.
Oh, we're not going to explain the dialogue when he
Oh,
actually
no,
finds
yeah,
the baby?
tell me about that part. Like right after he kills Jane, what goes on?
Go ahead, Carson.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
What happened was he's like in a like, ugh, it's done. Whatever. It had to be done. And I'm like a little bit shocked, saying she didn't have to die. You didn't have to kill her. And he's like, well, I'm sorry, darling, but it already happened. Then they start hearing the baby cry, and they rush over. And
Wait, did they give you a choice to kill him then? Shoot him then?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
they
you do get a choice to shoot him then.
So they want him. So they want him dead so badly. They gave him a. Are you sure you don't want to kill him? Because we're giving you a second chance. If you want to just go ahead and do it now.
Well,
was
not
like,
that he
what a
actually killed
heartless-
somebody. Not that he actually killed someone. I mean,
Suppose so, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, what kind of heartless bastard would kill someone? Like, if you're good friends with Kenny and you like him, what kind of heartless bastard would choose that? Are you sure you want to kill Kenny? You get one last chance.
Well, we got three
No.
people here that. Moving on.
go ahead.
So
But,
you say you're crying. You hear crying, and
We go to the car. He gets them out, and we're happy. Kenny goes like AJ. We're like saying AJ's been alive, and she's like, I didn't know at all. But and like, why would Jane does, and he says, I remember these words very clearly.
Mhm.
He says she was nuts cleansed. She had her own agenda, had her own plan. At any moment, she could have told me that AJ was fine, and I would have stopped. And I was like, yeah, I think I made the right decision then. Now when I think about it, I don't hear it like that.
Would he have? Would he have though?
I think he would have if he said AJ was okay, because he thought AJ was dead, literally.
But at that point, I think with his rage, though, I think at that point he would have seen it as her just trying to say anything to save her life again.
Right. I don't know if he would
Yeah.
believe it. I don't know. If he would believe it.
Similar to how when he got to the house and he found no supplies, and Arva was pleading, "No, there are supplies here."
Yeah.
He wasn't
didn't believe
believing
it. He wasn't believing it.
He just took it at face value.
Well,
I don't think he
I'm
would have
standing
stopped.
by my statement.
Okay.
And then you get the choice. You do. I don't know. I think it's a dialogue choice. You may have to back me on this, Hark. That you can actually leave Kenny. You get a dialogue choice to leave Kenny.
I don't think you do. I think you just the only way you can go without Kenny at that point is to shoot him. I don't think there's a choice. I think you just automatically go with him.
Oh.
So
Well, either way, I would have stuck with him because.
Knowing Kenny, he would not have let us go off by ourselves. I think Jane would have let us walk away from her. She would have let us do that. I don't think Kenny would have let Clementine walk away. She would force her to stay with him.
That's very true. And then when I think it was like what, a day later or a week later?
They don't release 9 days.
9 days later.
9 days.
Sure.
It actually is very happy, I guess you could say, in the beginning. And I'll let Hark take it over from here.
They end up finding Wellington. It's a walled community. It looks like
A fortress?
Some sort of fortress. It looks like somebody's in there surviving. And they reach it, and there's this woman who is, I guess, at the front gate, and they tell her their situation, and she seems genuinely
respectful, nice.
She's respectful and nice to them, but she's also genuinely upset to give them the bad news that they're at full capacity and they can't take any more people because they only have a limited amount of food and supplies as it is.
And I want to point out that Hark, your reaction and mine were the same one. Like she actually shoots us. She gives us like a warning shot. Like boom, we were like, oh god, whoa, oh god. I thought someone was actually shooting at us and trying to kill us.
I liked that character a lot because I genuinely didn't think that she didn't want. I knew she wasn't trying to screw us over. I genuinely felt like she felt horrible that she had to be the one. I did not. I did not want to be in her shoes. I did not.
Yeah, her
envy
name was
her
Eden.
position. Okay, I did not envy her position. I would not have wanted to be there, turning people away. But she was at least trying very hard to give them some hope. Like she gave them a duffel bag of supplies, and she says, "Come back in a few months. Maybe then we'll be able to take more people." And then Kenny just he just started breaking down and begged and pleaded her to
I don't want to hear
please
it.
take the children at least. Like, if you can't take all three of us, at least take the baby and the girl, because
That made me shed man tears.
yeah, it was so emotional, and I was like getting so misty-eyed that Kenny was just it was great. It was a beautiful scene, and then you had the choice in either staying in Wellington, which is what Kenny is pushing you to do,
Yeah.
or leaving it behind and going with him.
Between you two now.
And you know, I just love the dialogue. Kenny and Gavin Hammond did such a great job with the scene, and
Yeah.
talking about how, you know, for just a moment you can be a kid again. You don't have to worry about, you know, keeping one eye open while you're sleeping. You can actually maybe even have fun and just try not to be so grown up all the time. And he was right. And yeah, it just broke my heart when he said that.
You went in. I didn't. That's the difference.
Yeah, so Carson and I, we actually had different choices. So Carson, why don't you give your...
before the ending.
Yeah, so Carson, give your decision. And
Okay, so what happened was, I still was, like I said, I was bawling up. I was like, Mantos. I was like, no, don't do this to me, Kenny. I was like, please don't say this. Please don't say this. Please don't. We can take the kids. No, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
And
So
I was like,
choice.
you know what? I've made my decision already. I'm staying with Kenny. We've been through hell already. It would be very wrong just to leave him. And I know he cares about me, just wanting me to go in. But my argument was I just couldn't leave him. And oddly enough, although we made the decision to stay, Edith is even more kinder and even more nicer to give us a second duffel bag, even though she states we're only allowed to give out one. I was gonna say in my ending, and I loved where they did this. I don't remember my dialogue choice, but Kenny says, "You're as stubborn as a damn mule," and she says, "I wonder where I get that from." And we see the scene. They're just walking away, from Wellington, and that made me seriously ball up. I don't know how I could have responded to that ending because it was well done for starters.
Yeah.
I just loved how Hawk's like, okay, I'll go with what Kenny wants. I'll just go inside Wellington.
My reasoning was it was beyond. The situation was beyond Clementine and Kenny. I was ultimately thinking about what was best for AJ. I was ultimately thinking what's best for the baby. Do I think it's better for the baby to take a chance with Wellington or to stay with Kenny? And Kenny himself even told me he did not trust himself to take care of us anymore. He didn't think that we were safe with him anymore. And I kind of agreed. And I believe, even if I did have a very close relationship with Kenny, I felt like AJ's welfare was more important than the relationship that I had with Kenny. And that's why I chose what I did as stay at Wellington, was because for me, AJ was the most important thing. When I made my decision, it was even more heart-wrenching because,
Yeah, it was. I watched it.
I loved it because Kenny and Clementine were willingly saying goodbye to each other, and Kenny was getting, again, very emotional, and he said, "Hold on a second," and he takes off his hat and he gives it to Clementine, and he says, when AJ gets older, you give him that hat. It'll keep the sun away from his eyes, and you tell AJ about his parents and everyone that worked so hard to keep them safe, because he deserves to know that. And then he said, "Okay, I'm gonna go now, and I'm not gonna look back, and it's not because I don't want to," and I just lost it.
And then
you were crying.
I was.
You were crying.
So,
I saw it.
And then tell me, do they do the shot where they do the shot with the doors closing and she's walking away, covering the screen?
Yeah, she walks in.
Really good.
So I think my ending ended up being the most emotional, because of
mine was the second emotional,
and yours I think was the second emotional.
I watched the ending on YouTube. And I love that ending.
I'm going to look it up after this.
But of course, you want to be with Jane. That's your decision.
Go ahead.
It's this selflessness of Kenny that it gets to me. It got me before and it got to me again. That I never doubted it, because he wants what's best for Clementine in his mind.
And I never doubted it either. Yeah.
No, and that was the case at that point. Yeah. And yes, that line, so well written, like you said, I won't look back, but it's not because I don't want to.
It's not because I don't want to.
Yeah. I still think Jane is my ending. I felt good. Yeah. But this was a really nice, emotional, well-written ending. So, good work.
Just say it, David. Just say it, David. She's your future wife, and we'll believe you.
That is what I was going to ask you guys, is are you satisfied with, quote-unquote, your ending? And
which...
overall,
do you want me to mention the poll?
Yeah, go ahead and mention the poll.
Well, the poll changes. There's a poll for whether or not you killed Kenny or let him live.
Well,
there's a poll of who you end up with at the end.
No, this is the last poll. It's the friendship in the end. Who are you with poll?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In the majority, and this is where these three, David, Kathleen, and Logan are in. They are in the with AJ, Jane, and family, which is, by rounding up, is the 37%.
Okay.
Then there's alone with AJ, 23%.
Okay.
Hark's choice, with AJ at Wellington, 17%.
Okay.
My decision, still rounding it up, 14%, and then with AJ and Jane is 10%.
AJ and Jane without the family is 10%. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so so already looking at that poll and those percentages, they really this was a very good final ending series of choices.
Yeah, it just I don't know how else you could put that in words, really.
If you guys haven't seen the ending where you're with Jane and you turn the family away, Clementine has this very cold look on her face when she tells them to leave. And again, they start begging Clementine to give them a chance. And, they say something like, "How do you know that we're not dangerous?" And Clementine pulls out a gun, aims it towards the guy, point blank in front of the sun, and she says, "How do you know I'm not dangerous?" And
Oh.
Is that Snarky Clem?
It's
Snarky
more
Clem
than
back?
Snarky Clem. I think there's a little bit more than snark in
It's kind
there.
of disturbing.
So
Jane
it's
Clem.
a
It's Jane
really
Clem.
different tone in Clementine if you choose that ending, which makes me wonder, and we're not going to talk about it at length, which makes me wonder if that tone is going to matter at all in season 3. But anyway,
Because
go ahead.
yeah, I think what you're saying, if we thought we were all right with our ending,
Yeah,
I guess what I didn't like, season 1's ending, that had me choked up. I was so season 2's ending, I wasn't feeling that exact. First of all, I felt sort of bad that there wasn't anything at the end of the credits like there was in season 1.
Yeah.
It just was.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel as emotionally like jarred or shooken up or whatever as I was with season 1's ending, and which I think I definitely would have felt more if I had,
Kenny's.
especially the ending, especially your ending, Angel Arts. No
Mhm.
offense, Carson. Just I think out of the endings that have been presented to me, I would have wanted Angel Arts the most. I would have wanted Hark's, because that seems to me like just the whole
The
game.
more
that
emotional
would've-
one?
More emotional.
I feel more emotional. I feel like it would have been the most rewarding to be able to have that. Oh, now we have this hat. We can give him. We can tell him about everyone and have that whole. I don't know if Clementine will even think to do that in my ending, and
It's the most hopeful, I think.
it makes me sincerely want to go back and play it just so I can get that ending now instead, so I can play season 3 with that ending. Which I don't know. Do you guys think I should, or do you guys think I should continue with the ending?
Well, it's your choice overall, as long as you
And
still
I
make the
hate
same
that.
decision.
Because I'm not.
As long as you make the overall same choices, and then the last 2 you make on your own. And then
I'd
you
say, I'd say go with what you got.
Yeah,
Live with your consequences. Live with the consequences of your actions.
Logan, I think David and I are in the same boat. I'm always going to tell you that for a blind Let's Play, you should accept the consequences of your choices. But having said which, it's your LP, so ultimately, our opinions don't really matter. So
Just
do
That's why
whatever you
I
want.
was the one who thought outside the box. Said you make the decision.
unless your opinion is to pause during a decision,
Okay,
then
okay.
that's wrong.
You guys are gonna hold on to me like that forever.
So you hogged on to Dave that whole time. Anyway, but
Yeah.
So just putting my 2 cents out there, I think Angel Arts or Hark's is the, not saying it was the best ending, but Hark's is the ending I would have wanted the most.
Okay.
Now knowing about it.
Kathleen.
I'm gonna stick by my decision. Although I appreciate the other endings, but yeah.
Yeah,
I like the ending. I like the ending that I got.
Mhm.
I would have liked to have gone to Wellington.
Wellington.
I would have liked to have gone there. I wish that we had tried to go there, but I didn't want to go back to Carvertown. But at least we know that it's secure.
Yeah, I was
Well,
actually wondering where everyone had gone off. I was wondering where the heck everyone had gone off to. The people who were shooting at the zombies when we left.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. Now that I'm saying that, I'm like, is it secure?
Are they
Right.
hiding
Like, where'd all the
somewhere?
zombies go? Like,
Where did the people with the guns go?
This is what I want to ask. Like, Logan, since you were the one who watched Carver get killed brutally.
Yes.
What did
I
Jane
did too.
say? Like, they say they
When you walk, and actually I was telling Hark, there's another moment when sort of like maybe full circle of my quote unquote arc or whatever was, we get back and she sees the body and she makes the mention, how could you have been able to watch that?
Yeah.
And to which I said nothing. I just stared and didn't pick anything. And in my mind, like in commentary, I was saying I don't even know how I was able to watch that anymore.
Oh, poor
Okay.
Logan.
Poor Logan. Do you want
It
to pat
was-
on the shoulder?
Oh, shut. Don't. Whatever.
Don't patronize you.
No, I'm saying hold on to that. I'll come and see you in real life at one point, and then you can cash that in with a pat on the back later.
Okay.
I'll give you
How
a
is
hug.
the
though.
body like still fresh?
The body,
Yeah, wasn't it still fresh?
it looked
Yeah.
the blood still looked red. It didn't look coagulated.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it would be in like pretty bad decomp before.
Especially with an open like door in winter.
Yeah. I don't know.
Or to
Maybe he
attract walkers or
froze.
something.
A little bit.
Maybe. I'll froze
And then
it.
he comes.
Maybe it was like being in a refrigerator, you know. Preserves it.
Like that.
David and Carson, were you guys happy with your
Yeah.
personal ending?
Let me hear David first, Mr.
Yeah,
Correct.
short and sweet. I was very happy with it. I'm content. I wouldn't have minded if it was a little bit more bittersweet,
Yeah.
but I'm totally okay with a happy ending. For
I mean,
once.
of course you're happy because you got the correct ending. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
of course you're happy.
there's that.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's me.
Carson?
I absolutely loved my ending. I did not regret my decisions on that because
Okay.
I feel like my justification for it is that we've been with Kenny so long. When you see him actually like running up on the hill, and Hark knows what I'm talking about. He runs up the hill racing Clementine. You actually feel like this kind of happy competition, friendly, happy competition. And then you see it, you're like, we finally made it. We can finally get peas. They're about to turn us away. Take the kids. These guys like, no, don't do this to me. It really got emotional to me, and
Yeah.
I love when it gets emotional and it hits me like I'm getting a punch in the stomach. And when I was like, I can't leave him because I lost Jane just because of you, so I'm not leaving you, and I love you so much, buddy. And so I felt happy and content with my ending.
Since it sounds like for the most part we're content with our ending, do you guys think that Telltale did or did not do a good job of making all the endings equally good?
Oh.
Or do you think that
Oh, here we go,
or do you
David.
think that it would have been too hard to do that for 5 endings, to make all 5 endings equally good? Or what?
Yeah, I don't think. Okay, go ahead,
Go ahead.
Kathleen.
I was gonna say I think they pulled a Wolf Among Us ending kind of thing, because that's what they did with Wolf Among Us. If you look at the dialogue choice,
Without giving anything away.
Whoa,
Without giving anything
whoa,
away.
Whoa! I haven't played it yet.
Yeah,
I
don't give
have it in my
anything
Steam
away.
library.
Okay, I'm only gonna say at the ending there's multiple choices. That's it,
Okay.
and that actually threw me off. I was like, wait, why am I in the minority? I'm pretty sure I made the right choice, didn't I? And then I looked and I was like, oh, never mind then.
hmm
I'm
There are
happy with my
multiple
decision.
choices, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what I called it. I said they just pulled a Wolf Among Us choice, but I still applaud what they did. The way they executed it was well done, and I have I say they should continue to do that only if they make both endings equally emotional.
Do you think they did that though with this one? Do you think they succeeded in that in this one?
Well, when I watched David's ending, I don't feel like they did. Really.
Okay.
I felt the Kenny
Yeah.
ending were more emotional.
I think David is.
Dave's next, yes.
Yeah, that's true. The Ken ending was more emotional, but I think this is very subjective. What do you like to have as an ending?
Okay. Right. True.
Sure, some might love the bittersweet endings like I do, or emotional. Some might like the more hopeful, like we're starting anew endings. And the endings are pretty good and makes you think when. I'm sure everyone here has like all these comments saying, "I can't understand why you made this choice." You're
Yeah.
a horrible
Yeah.
person. I would never do that.
Yes.
And you have this comment under. It's like, "Oh, I totally agree with you." Like next comment is, "I disagree. I had to thumbs this down because this is
I have
horrible."
to thumbs this down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm unsubscribing
Actual
because.
people.
Yeah.
I haven't found out that yet, but I will soon find that out. When
Yeah, and that's
people will
that's
do
okay
that.
if you guys want to do that, but you have to. I'm addressing every viewer here that you have to understand that every people, it's in the eye of the
People are
beholder.
different.
Yeah.
People don't
Totally.
respond identically to others.
Yeah.
Precis. Now I'm starting to speak Swedish. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen so many comments on other YouTubers saying, "Okay, well, can you please replay it again and this time do this so you can actually get the good ending?" Is what people say.
Yeah.
It's like,
when I had my live stream, I was amazed at how many comments I was getting. Was just like, I'm so angry at you for not choosing Kenny. And then on my YouTube video too, I was like, what? Like that? What's the point of playing a game if everyone makes the same choice?
With choices, yeah. Why have a choice to begin with then?
Great.
And that would
Every
make
choice a consequence.
And honestly, if someone was doing that, I would want to know that makes me that if I actually
Irritates you?
I'm trying to think. Not trying to say like I don't care about a comment, but like if I took every single rude comment like that into account, that would discourage me from wanting to play if I would be put under such scrutiny for anything I did in the game.
Right.
Because I know there's always gonna be one person who's not gonna agree with me. I understand this.
And they don't have to be rude. Even they can just say, like, I do not understand why you did this,
or
but I agree with it. It's okay.
Or just say I chose differently, but I respect and acknowledge and appreciate you being able to show me what this would look like in a different light.
But this is the internet, so.
Just for anyone who's watching this video, that
is always going to happen.
Just for anyone who's watching this video, that is how you should phrase every comment on a YouTube video of mine.
Yeah, like, David, I understand that your choice is the correct one, but I did this.
Yeah, sure.
I did not know. Thank you for enlightening me, Dave.
Carson, I understand that you needed to pause the game, but it's okay. I respect your decision.
Everyone,
I swear that's going to be like the thing. Is Carson going to pause the game in Season 3? Everyone's gonna be like, I don't know.
Everyone, I think we started this podcast. Some of us came out.
I'm sure
I think this is the time for all of us to just come back together.
Yes.
Don't worry, I'm not pausing it in the next season.
Oh, whatever. To spite us, you'll just pause everything, every single one, every single. Do I take the red coat or the blue coat? Oh, let's see. Let's weigh it.
Oh my gosh, it's one of those action sequences. Pause. Should I hit the up button when it tells me to?
Oh god, that's gonna be. I hope that should be a meme thing. Let me think about this decision.
Yes.
Should I get out?
But
of
yeah, I probably would. If I had to go to that decision, red coat or blue coat, I'd probably choose the blue coat because blue's my favorite color. You know, just saying.
And people would rage. It'd be like, Carson, how dare
you?
Carson,
I hate you.
Also love red.
Everything you stand for.
No, it's a blue coat.
Unsub.
He'll just pause every. He'll pause every single time.
Brolin's gonna come out again.
He'll pause for everything. Should I upload this video today?
Yeah.
Should I play the game?
You know, I actually had that moment. I was like, should I upload this or should I not?
Oh dear.
Anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent, but.
Sorry, but it was fine.
Okay.
I was gonna say, now that I feel all nervous again, since it does technically pertain to this episode, can I make the comment of, I really am looking forward to how season 3 is going to be organized because of how diverse the number of endings we have in this episode. You have 3 different major scenarios leading up to a possible 5 completely very different the outcomes, 5 very different outcomes of how this can link up into the next season if we still are following their story.
Correct.
And this is the question I have for David, actually, in that scenario. And my gut tells me they're going to find some way, like, let's say the first episode in Season 3, they're going to follow that arc, and then the other half of it is just going to be, they're all going to lead to the same one. But my question for David is, do you want, like, for story-wise, would you still want, like, David Brecken, or Nick Brecken, to write, like, some episodes in Season 3? And that goes for everyone.
Of course.
He wrote this episode.
I would like him to stay. He's done good. That's up to Telltale if they keep him on as a writer. But I personally have enjoyed his stuff so far.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if they brought some more of the writers from season 1 back again. But that's just.
Yeah, and this will probably, and for the record, I'm gonna shock you definitely. I think it was who said it that they hated 400 Days for the record. Was that Dave? Was that Logan?
I don't think. No, I said I didn't like Bonnie. I liked Bonnie the least in 400 Days.
Oh. Well, Nick Brecken wrote the 400 Days, and that includes the Bonnie story.
Well, then he did a very good job of writing Bonnie as a character I liked the least.
Yeah.
Oh, very diplomatic. I like it.
Good job.
There's a lot of characters that you don't like, but that doesn't mean that we think they're badly written.
They're just our personalities and
Yeah.
the synergy, whatever.
In fact, it probably means it's probably the fact that we dislike them so much is attributed to the fact that they're such good writing that they are like real people to us, that we
Yeah.
actually have those
Yeah,
strong feelings.
I definitely want them to keep Nick Brecken. He's done very well with episode 1, 2, and 5. I see no reason why they should get rid of him now.
I like that. I don't. It's not like I dislike someone because they're like the bad guy or the villain.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just dislike them because of the way they do their hair every morning. They don't flip it up like me. No, just little.
So just for this one episode, what are your thoughts overall? Like, how would you rate this? If you were to
1
rate
to
it-
10?
let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, taking in consideration, you can take in consideration the other 4 episodes from this season, and if you want, you can even take in consideration the episodes from season 1. How would
Okay.
you
Is
rate this?
Kathleen gonna say that it's her least episode to date?
No, she already said.
No.
She already said this was her second favorite.
This is
Okay.
my second favorite out of the season, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
So-
gonna say that episode 1 was my favorite, and this is my second favorite.
Second favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, if you read my descriptions, Hark, on the last part on episodes 5, I listed my ratings of why, like 1 out of 10. This one's 9.5. This one's 10 out of 10. I'm gonna do it like that, like I did. My favorite episode of all the seasons of season 2, I have to actually say, I would say after a conclusion, it's actually this episode because it
Who's
really.
your favorite? Okay.
Yeah, this
Of all the
episode 5
seasons.
is my.
Mhm.
Yes, of all the seasons, not all the seasons,
Yeah.
of season 2.
Of season 2. Okay. Of season 2. That's
Season
your
2
favorite.
of all the seasons, it has to be the last episode in season 1.
Okay.
But in season 2, it's this one again,
Okay.
like the last episode, because they know how to execute it very well. For story-wise, I give them a scale on 1 to 10, a 9.5, only because how they executed it and how they began it so well, and how you were able to develop, I guess you could say, a relationship with this character, and you could sympathize with them. You could not trust them. You could play this on and off relationship with them. But very well done. Voice acting, and this is where I threw the biggest love for Kenny's character, or his voice actor, Gavin Hammond. He did so well, absolutely well done there,
Yeah.
and 10 out of 10, just no debate, because just how they executed that well. But the gameplay-wise, I was still a little bit upset. I wanted to walk around more and wish I could do more in my decision-making. Like, walk around, look, explore, and do like we did in Season 1. We didn't get that. It lowered it to a 7.5, but my overall score on this was definitely a 9 out of 10, just because of how well this episode was done. The voice acting was well done. There were very small flaws you could look over.
Okay. Anyone else? Logan or
I was gonna wait till a bit later. I want Kathleen to go since we've been like.
I like this episode. The first episode was my favorite. This was my second favorite. Because of I like that they added more conversations in
Yes.
there. There's more times to just get with the group, more character development. There was something, like, I thought the whole Luke thing was kind of ridiculous. I didn't like that at all. Not just because he's a character that I like, but I just felt that they didn't execute it very well.
Wait. Do you mean the way he died?
yeah,
Yeah.
his death wasn't
I thought-
executed well, is what she's. Yeah. And I
I
agree
didn't
with
say
that.
death because I don't believe he's dead. So
Oh, okay. His
Okay, all right.
He's leaving
here
the
we go
party.
again.
Leaving-
he's
Part.
frozen. Okay, he'll thaw out. So I thought that was poorly
he
done.
has a beard
but
too,
I
by the
thi-
way. So
Yeah.
he has-
But I felt that the rest of the episode was flawless, and I think I'd give this 9 out of 10 ramens.
9 of 10 ramens, nice.
Yeah, I don't usually do ratings, but whatever.
I would love some top ramen now, you know.
I'm full because I've been eating lunch.
I haven't had
for
any
this
since
time.
college. None.
I can give mine if Logan doesn't want to give his until later.
I want not that. That's right. I would
Come
like.
on, Logan.
I would like for
Put
Hart
it
to be
out.
the one. I would like for Hart to be the one who wraps this up.
It's whatever. It's fine.
And I'll go
Go ahead,
okay.
go ahead.
I agree. It's like I don't want to say I have a most favorite episode of the whole season because along with Dave, it is for me it's a very strong tie between the first episode and this episode. Also agreeing with Kathleen that I really think Luke deserved a better death, or at least a more impacting death than what they gave him.
Yeah.
Considering how long we've been with him this season.
Exactly.
The very definitely big step up from episode 4 as far as our choices having our choices actually changing some things, especially with the ending scenario. The fight at the end between Jane and Kenny, I legitimately felt very like helpless and like it was a very nice rising climax.
Yeah.
Of tension or whatever the heck I'm trying to say there. Overall, I definitely think this was a very well done episode. The voice direction was brilliant, and I'm actually very thrilled that knowing that Kenny can live in some endings, even all the way through led to believe past the end of the credits that we can see more of Gavin's work in future seasons, possibly. Again, actually, the big highlight for this season was the moment with seeing Lee again. That took me completely by surprise. I'm so glad I wasn't spoiled on that, and that was a really beautiful moment I enjoyed being able to place myself in. Seeing Clem's old model and hearing her old voice from season 1 threw me off a bit. I was like, whoa. But
I think that threw off a lot of people.
It was really came out of left field with that scene, and I enjoy it. And I'm not trying to like sound pretentious or anything. I'm not one to really rate things with numbers or like try and quantify how much I enjoy it. Not saying that's a bad thing, but just I'm not one to do it. So I'll just say that I really did enjoy this episode, and it leaves me again really looking forward to season 3.
A lot of the points I was going to make have already been mentioned. I think for the things that could have been better, there was the way that Luke's death was treated, and there was, in my opinion, the out-of-characterness of Jane at the end. But the things that they did well, I definitely appreciated, from the conversations at the campfire, obviously the nostalgia factor with Lee near the end. There was a lot of shocking surprises, like from getting shot. And again, just the fact that there are the sheer number of endings that you could have, the branching, which I think more than makes up for the lack of choice. The lack of your choices mattering in episode 4, which some of us were complaining about, I think was addressed in this episode. So I would probably, if I had to give a number for it, I would probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. And this would actually be my favorite episode of this season, with episode 1 being my second favorite episode.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna like agree with you, Hark. It's a really close one. Episode 5 and episode 1 from season 2 were really well close. Done, and you couldn't like, you had to choose one that you liked the most, and that was my case scenario. I was like, I love both of them, and episode 2 is gonna always be in that third place, my third favorite episode, because I just had to decide. I think you guys get what I mean, right? It's just It was a hard decision.
So does anyone have any last-minute comments or thoughts of just this episode, episode 5, before we close?
Okay, I would like to say to Kathleen that no, Luke is not going to be frozen and will not make it back. I'm going to destroy that already.
I'm foreseeing that conflict between Mike, Bonnie, and Arvo. At least one of them, assuming that they weren't all killed, especially in them saying that Mike and Bonnie. I don't know what happened to Arvo if he was killed by Kenny out of rage. Finally, like that was just the final thing, But I'm definitely thinking that I could see Mike or Bonnie making again another appearance in season 3 to address that whole conflict and any lingering emotions about that.
David, were gonna say something?
Yeah, it's just something that crossed my mind now. It's well past that topic, but I'm just gonna throw it out there and
go ahead.
And maybe okay. So, did we shoot Ken in the head?
No, we didn't.
I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
No. Yeah, you're right. I didn't shoot him in the head after he died.
Well then, that
Well
sucks for him.
Oh no, that means he's coming back.
Why did
That's a
I
good point.
forget that? It never even gave me the choice. Why did I forget? Or no.
I was thinking about that
no,
too throughout this. I was like, oh crap.
Oh wait, I might have to watch that scene again because maybe without me noticing, maybe Jane did the needle thing or I did the
Probably.
needle thing.
Let's
I
say
don't know.
that to give us some comfort.
I would like to think they would have remembered to do that, even if
Yeah,
it was
I
off
feel-
camera.
But I think for me and Hawk, we didn't do that with Jane. She just got stabbed in the heart and we just left her.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good point. I don't know, because she did just get stabbed in the chest. That is
Yeah,
a good
well-
point. Oh, jeez.
That was
Yeah.
very
I just
disappointing.
wanted to leave this podcast on a high note.
Well, thank you. Thanks for that, David.
Yeah,
That will
you
be
know,
the secret
just for the record, David and Kathleen, I even stated in my my Let's Play that I did like Jane, for the record, and if I can't have her, nobody can.
Hello.
Sounds creepy.
Hello, Dave. Now you've.
I
let
have to
yourself-
see if she did.
I'll look it up. But if not, then Dave, you just let yourself get to go to bed tonight thinking of a Walker Jane now out and about somewhere. And
You're
I
a
gotta-
cool person.
And it's all
You
due to
guys-
Carson.
I have a prediction. I think that you all know that Luke, he survived.
Uh-huh. I know
Also-
that.
Okay, listen.
So,
So Kenny, when I shot him,
yes.
his beard dissected his
Oh,
beard
God.
through.
the beard
It
actually.
took out the the beard
And he
absorbed
regenerates.
the bullet,
The beard.
and then the bullet like pops out, and then he's
I'm
good.
back.
Where are you getting this?
At that point,
It's
you
the
might.
no, okay, it's the beard. That's why I shot
Yeah.
him, because I knew he'd survive.
At that
Oh.
point, at that point, I'd rather believe that the beard grows sentient and takes over his body like a parasite, and now it's the beard controlling Kenny like a puppet.
It's
and
like Cousin
acting
It.
out. Yeah, it's like
It'd be
Cousin
like
It.
Cousin It. Yes. Okay. Anyway, I think we're good. So
On that note,
on that note, this isn't the complete end. We're at least going to do one more podcast. This time we're going to do it live, hopefully with all of you. If you would like to join us, you can feel free to ask us your questions about this season as a whole, about our thoughts on season 3, and yeah, it should be a good time. So thank you guys for joining me today, and thanks for all of you watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed season 2 and this episode, and we will talk to you guys again, hopefully very soon. So, until next time, everybody, love yourselves, love each other.